headlines of the news happened to be the inauguration of the president or former president, and now once again president again, Donald Trump. President Donald Trump today, very, very interesting enough, happened to be much has been reported about it. It's just summarizing, let's just say, some of the reaction from Israel, because we know that currently there's the process of the ceasefire, let's just say, in Israel. There's various different reactions from all different angles. Let's explore what some of the great rabbis across the world, jury, have been saying within regards to inauguration and on this specific momentous day, let's just say, for America. I believe Rabbi Berman, for example, was at the inauguration himself. I think he happens to be a Yeshiva University president, Rabbi Dr. Ari Berman. And let's explore what he said. Well, we're looking at the Arutz Sheva news websites here in Israel, and he reported a prayer on this specific day. At the conclusion of President Donald Trump's inauguration, I believe it's reported over here in Arutz Sheva, in his prayer, Rabbi Dr. Berman stated, the prophet Jeremiah walked the streets of Jerusalem and blessed its inhabitants with the words, "Blessed is the one who trusts in God." Thousands of years later, the great nation which adopted these words as its motto, "In God we trust," stands at a moment of historic opportunity. Our merciful Father, help us rise to meet this moment. Blessed President Donald J. Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, with the strength and courage to choose the right and good, unite us around our foundational biblical values of life and liberty, of service and sacrifice, and especially of faith and morality. This is what I'm quoting over from the Arutz Sheva website, Israel National News, naturally, who would say. He continues, he added, I'm reading the article over here, guide our schools and college campuses, which have been experiencing such unrest, to inspire the next generation to pair progress with purpose, knowledge with wisdom, and truth with virtue. Rabbi Dr. Berman also prayed for the well-being and return of hostages who are being held by Hamas. I quote what is said inside the website. Hear the cry of the hostages, both American and Israeli, whose pain our president so actually feels. We are so thankful for the 3 young women who yesterday returned home, and pray that the next 4 years bring peace to Israel and throughout the Middle East. He concluded, Almighty God grants all Americans opportunity to realize our shared dream of a life filled with peace and plenty, health and happiness, compassion and contribution. Stir within us the confidence to rise to this moment, for which we trust in God. God's trust is in us, the American people. America is called to greatness, to be a beacon of light and a mover of history. May our nation merit the fulfillment of Jeremiah's blessing, that like a tree planted by water, we shall not cease to bear fruit. May all of your blessings, very interesting, very bountiful, let's just say, prayer in of itself, and very much, very, very important in of itself. So let's see, various different, let's just say, let's look now on the Times of Israel website over here. With regards to, there's an article over here, which I will quote the name of the writer. I think it says over here in one of the headlines of Times of Israel, peacemaker and unifier, Trump hails the Gaza deal in his second inaugural address. So he's talking about this hostage deal. It's had a very mixed reaction in Israel, and many people have highlighted, let's say, potential dangers within regards to this deal, within regards to releasing so many Hamas, or let's just say Palestinian people that were imprisoned for various warring reasons, let's just say in of itself. So I'll quote the article. He says, US President Donald Trump on Monday cast himself as a peacemaker in his second inaugural address, pointing to the hostage release ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas that went into effect on Sunday, naturally a day before from time of recording here. He says, my proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier, he said, after being sworn inside the US Capitol. This is what I'm quoting what he said and what's reported in Times of Israel. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families. Trump added, prompting a standing ovation from the audience. Now, once again, I want to stress something. I think this deal only involves 33 hostages, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe a few more. I can't remember the exact amount, but not the entire amount. So many people are very, very worried about this and has to be stressed out. There's been more reaction in Israel. It's pretty much taken the headline news all over the world, obviously, naturally today. And Donald Trump, we know from there's the Jewish Chronicle website, from Jared Kushner to Miriam Edelson, who are the Jewish figures in Trump's inner circle. So now we're exploring in the Jewish Chronicle website who happen to be, let's say, the Jewish members of this circle in of itself. We know that naturally Kushner is going to have a very, very integral part in of itself. It's actually interesting. They quote inside this, let's say that Mr. Kushner was served as a senior advisor in the President Trump White House, involved in the Abraham Accords, as very, very much, let's just say, reports over. Quoted over here, he runs a multi-billion-dollar private equity fund bankrolled by the government of Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. Some separate that the couple's influence, particularly Mr. Kushner's, will continue through his next presidency, especially with regards to the administration's Middle East efforts over here. And I'm quoting the Jewish Chronicle website here in the article. No one on the incoming team has what Jared has, and that is trust. A regional diplomat who worked with Kushner during Trump's first presidency told CNN Jared earned it, referring to Jared Kushner, his son-in-law. He didn't have it at the beginning. He earned it. That takes time to build over here. Very interesting. Now, there's many of the various different ultra-Orthodox websites which are speaking with regards to the inauguration of Trump also, which we have to point out. There's a whole live blog in the Yeshiva World News website, which is connected, let's just say, to the religious community in of itself. And quotes over with regards to the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, today, this evening, on Monday, the 20th January 2025. He stated, it's quoted over here on YWN website, Yeshiva World News, "Congratulations, President Trump. Sarah and I send our warmest wishes to you, Melania and the American people, on your second inauguration as President of the United States. Your first term as President was filled with groundbreaking moments in the history of the great alliance between our two countries, especially the Abraham Accords and moving the embassy to Jerusalem." Let's just say, I'm just adding that on as itself. "You withdrew from the dangerous Iran nuclear deal." This was quoted. "You recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital. You moved the American embassy to Jerusalem, and you recognized Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. You brokered the historic Abraham Accords, in which Israel made peace with 4 Arab countries. I believe that working together again, we will raise the US-Israel alliance to even greater heights. I'm confident that we will complete the defeat of Iran's terror axis and usher in a new era of peace and prosperity for our region." I'm quoting the article here on Yeshiva World News. "On behalf of the people of Israel," he says, "I also want to thank you for your efforts in helping free Israeli hostages. I look forward to working with you to return the remaining hostages, to destroy Hamas's military capabilities and end its political rule in Gaza, and to ensure that Gaza never again poses a threat to Israel." This, once again, the yeshivaworld.com, I'm quoting, "I am sure, Mr. President," he says, "that under your leadership, the best days of alliance are yet to come." That's just a very lavish report in of itself. That is, no one can question that in of itself, and it's pretty much dominating the news, let's just say, in of itself on the Yeshiva World News website, which is interesting. Now, there's a live blog on the website, which we have to point out, obviously being, say, very, very momentous day. Various different country leaders have congratulated Trump, including the Syrian leader, Ahmed al-Shara, if I'm not mistaken. It's reported over, funnily enough, as another tidbit over here, that President Trump cheered his vice president with a glass of Diet Coke over here. So that's interesting enough. He signed today a procedural orders at the US Capitol also. And let's explore something. We know that Prime Minister Netanyahu congratulated President Trump today. And Trump stated today the vicious, let's say, unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end. He's promising many, let's just say, specific CUDA points over here within regards to what's going on. Let's explore some of the more of the Jewish news websites as we go on to explore what's going on over here, because it's a momentous day in America, let's just say. Let's say a good day in of itself. It seems like he really wants to go down the line becoming a great peacemaker of his. I read in the news actually that he has an ambition to win the Nobel Prize award. That is one of his ambitions, which is very highly reported over. Many people are saying, will Trump see eye to eye with Prime Minister Netanyahu while as he is returning to the White House on different things? And many different comments have actually, come about with in regards to this, let's just say, hostage deal over here. They actually say the Jerusalem Post just on today say that reported over there was a questionnaire that 77% of Jewish Israelis trust Trump on US-Israel relations, but only 20% trust him on Iran. Interesting enough, this is a survey that's reported over in the Jerusalem Post website over here. I think it was connected to a recent poll from the Jewish People Policy Institute. Very interesting enough. I think there's different demographics within regards to this, and I think there's a divide also in the diaspora. They actually found that most American Jews have more confidence in Trump's handling of Iran than Jewish Israelis. The data further highlighted a significant gap between Jewish Israelis and American Jews in their trust towards President Trump. 77% of Jewish Israelis trust him to manage US-Israel relations. Only 54% of American Jews shared this view, interesting enough. So you can see there's different, let's just say, in of itself, polls, surveys within regards to this. But let's show one thing that we should do is echoing Dr. Berman, Rabbi Dr. Berman's message. We hope that Hashem is going to send Donald Trump here in his presidency to be a good shliach for Am Yisrael, to bring peace in the world in general, make Israel and Jewish people a much safer place, and the whole of the entire humanity a safe place, ending wars. Let's just hope blessings and just good times. And for the Am Yisrael, the Jewish nation, a rich time in mitzvot and a booming time within regards to Judaism and flourishing. So wishing you all well over here. Please, anyone that's joining in, subscribe to the channel. We're a community here. We are learning, we're celebrating Israel, Judaism, mitzvot, Torah, and so much more. So wishing you all well and take care.